Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Sanchez. I'm a senior at Fort Hays. I am working on my degree in elementary education with a minor in special education. Outside of school, I am a full-time employee for the district here. I work as a para in a special needs classroom, working in a modified self-contained room. I also am very busy. I'm a married mother of 5 very active kids, so there's never a dull moment around here. So I spend a lot of time in my job modifying and making different types of things to accommodate and make things easier for students. So I was actually kind of excited to learn what this assignment was about. So the first thing that I found would be helpful as a low-tech assistive device, which are things that don't really involve a whole lot to put together, and they don't involve like what you would consider technology, any type of electronic, computer, internet type things, but just things that you can put together, or things that you have, whether it's like a whisper phone for students who may need to read out loud. That would be a low-tech assistive device. Things like book trackers, which is one of the things I'm gonna make, is a low-tech assistive device. Just different things to help students that don't really involve a whole lot, that you can either build or buy. So some of the things that I frequently create for my students would be, the first one is a book tracker. So I got this colored paper because they all like to have different colors, even though they need something to help them focus. It's still good. So what I'm gonna do is I brought a couple different size books with me. So I'm gonna make one that's about the size of this book. The students that I make these for also use them as a bookmark, so it's always fun for them to be able to keep their place. So you don't want it to be too big. I'm making this just a little bit smaller than the book is wide, so that it's not hanging off. But I made it about 2 inches, about 2 inches thick, you can see based off my finger size. And all I'm gonna do is kind of fold it in half to create a slit. Now, because this is a chapter book, the sentences are going to be a little bit smaller, and I don't really want my slit to be too wide. So I'm going to just expand it here. Just a little bit. I'm just cutting along, creating a semi-straight opening for the students to use to read, kind of like a little peekaboo hole. And sometimes if you buy trackers, like commercially made trackers, they might have like a little yellow highlighted spot in here, or it may have it just across the top. Some of my students that can track a little bit better and just need to keep what line they're on might have one of these that doesn't have the spot in the middle, but instead it's decorated with their name instead of like a pattern paper, and they just use it to follow along. But for students that need a little bit more help, this could work for any grade. I also brought a book that is for a younger level to make one for, but it can be used for, I find that it's most helpful if I'm working with a student, having them read to me. It helps them keep their place if they're losing focus, or if maybe they have a hard time with their fluency. This helps keep them in place so they're not trying to read ahead to keep them on track, and it helps with their fluency because they're able to give better, more accurate words and such. So if you see right here, it just tucks right into the corner of the book. It shows one sentence at a time, and then they don't see the sentence above or below, so they don't word jump is what we like to call it, and it just keeps them on track. Even though it's colored, it still keeps them from seeing the words above, the words below. That helps with accuracy in reading. And so if I was, and then see, you can just put it in and it doubles as a bookmark and it keeps their place. I usually laminate them for them if it's a student that I'm going to be working with a lot and they want to have their very own. Now the same thing could be done for something like this. I'm going to test out the one I have. and see if it fits, and it does. I might make this one a little bit bigger, the slit in the middle a little bit bigger, because these words are a little bigger, but that's the good thing, is that it can be customized. The next thing that I wanted to show you, if I can get a hold of my stuff here, give me just a second, is pencil grips. Pencil grips are for students that have a hard time with dexterity and holding onto the pencil for writing. So some will grab like this, which you see a lot in, early childhood or kindergarten, but you want to try to teach them to hold the pencil the right way. So in the perfect classroom, you're going to have pencil grips. You're going to have pre-made book trackers that are, already made. But on the fly, you can always take a little hair tie. I like to put it around the pencil, give it a twist, put it around my finger, give it a twist, and back around the pencil. And now, well, I'm trying to show it to you guys and I messed it up. Okay, so around the pencil, give it a twist, put my finger in, give it a twist, and back around the end of the pencil. And now it's stuck to my finger, just like on a pencil grip. If you want, you can always just push it through. This one's a little bit looser than the one I usually use. And now it's stuck, just like on a pencil gripper, and they can just grab, write, let it go, and it's still right there. Just like the little ones that you order from the school supply store, it's right there, and all I used was a little scrunchie. I think I bought a pack of 10 of these for $1 at the dollar store. Comes in really handy if you can't find one of those, if you have someone that just likes to squish them and play with them or tear them apart. These come in really handy, and they're good on the fly. The next thing that I wanted to show you, again, I'm just using recycled paper that I've used from the bookmarks, is I use this a lot for students who have a hard time with, say that I have a student in their computer class, and they don't know when it's okay to touch their computer and when they should be stopping and waiting for instructions or stopping and waiting until it's time to move on. So I just take a scrap of paper. I mean, we use the little stop sign and other different visual cues, but if that's not available and I have a student that's really struggling with being able to wait without getting frustrated, and we don't want them to have a meltdown and we want them to be able to succeed in class, take a red pen, a right stop on the one side, just like this. If you wanted, you could make a little stop sign or any round circle. And on the other side, my green pen is dying a little bit here. And on the other side, in green, you would write go. Stop, go. And when it's time for them to use their computer, you turn the go side up right there next to their computer, and they know they can go. This is something that you would need to work on with them, but giving them that visual cue is an excellent low-tech assistive device that will help them. And then when I want them to stop using their computer, I just flip it to stop, and they stop. That means hands off, and they keep their hands down. This works really well with children with severe special needs. I mean, it works for anybody who has impulse control, where they don't really, sometimes they just touch, and you want them to stop touching because right now it's time to listen. And so you just really quick make them a red stop, a green go. You can use crayons. I just used markers. Anything that is green and red in color. You can also use green paper for one side, red paper for the other, and no words are even necessary. So I hope that these devices have helped you and maybe inspire you to get your own ideas. I find myself constantly looking and finding new ideas for things just based off things that I see from other people. So enjoy your day.